right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Lang and Reed, Napa Valley Sip and Savor number 12.
12!
Yeah,
Is that
we're
the right
there.
way?
So,
Okay.
oh, that's awkward.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do tonight is we're going to deviate from what we've done in the past, and we've always gone with accredited chefs that have created recipes for us.
For Lang and Reed wines.
Correct.
To pair with them.
My lovely wife
I get
reprimands me. But this one's going to be an original, and so this is something that we come up with. It's super easy, but also not easy at the same time. So what we're going to do is brined smoked pork chops.
This is something, I mean, as you can see, we're a little more casual tonight than ever. And if you know us or you come to our house for dinner, this is probably how you're going to find us.
Yeah.
I will just get home from the gym, Reed's just getting home from work. And so for us, we wanted number 12 to be this, what kind of meal could we just do in a hurry? What do we do on the fly? And how could we convey that to you guys? Mm-hmm. So here we are, super casual, getting ready to broil up some pork chops.
The fun thing about my wife is this recipe actually takes over 12 hours. So it's not a hurry at all.
But here's the thing, you just have to be prepared. So what we're going to show you today, is something that you can do and then have the pork chop in your freezer ready.
Ready to go.
So when you are ready and you're like, I really want to smoke pork chop tonight. You don't have to go through all those steps. You just thaw it. And then you pop it in the broiler and it's ready in like 10 minutes. So yes, it takes a lot of work beforehand, but then it really makes for an easy meal afterwards.
So, brining. We're going to cut right through it. So brining.
Wait, first.
Yes, ma'am.
Let's open some wine.
Please do.
Yeah.
So while Megan opens that, I'm going to talk about brining. So brining, the process of brining is you take a salty sweet mixture, a liquid that through osmosis pulls and injects meat with flavor. So that's what we're going to do here. So we have about a cup. So this is an about recipe. Do not write this down. This is gut.
We will, if you want to download the recipe, you can go to our website.
We'll write it down.
Yeah,
www.langandreed.com,
and you can download the recipe. We will have it there ready.
Yeah. This is going to be an about recipe because this is my kind of recipe.
Well, because Reed's an about recipe kind of guy.
Megan's got the other 11 episodes, and this is me. So we have about a cup of salt.
And this pot already has this much
bunch of water in it. We have about half a cup of sugar. Doesn't matter if it's white, brown, turbinado, whatever. It's whatever I found close.
A little sugar.
We have roughly 20 some odd black peppercorns. Boom. We have roughly about 12-ish, 14, 16. You're not going to hurt yourself. Allspice, my grandpa's favorite spice.
Oh, yeah. One day we'll do the chicken soup recipe.
Redonkulous.
So
we have about
two
bay leaves we found down the street. And that's it. So that's the brine. So what we have there is water, allspice, black pepper, salt, sugar, and bay leaves.
That's it.
Tell me about this wine, Megan.
Well, we are actually drinking the 2016.
I'm going to turn to my side and show off my
good
side. Yeah, that's my good side.
You guys, we're drinking the 2016 Cabernet Franc North Coast from Lang and Reed, Napa Valley. Now, this is something that we haven't even released yet, which is super exciting.
Congratulations.
We are still selling the 2015 vintage. And I think we have maybe 10 cases left. Mm-hmm. So if you like the 2015, you should definitely get it now. But we just had 2016 in the cellar. And on a night like tonight, when we were just doing something easy, I just grabbed what I could. And 2016 it was.
Yep.
So the concept is the same as the 2015 and the 2014 and every vintage before that. We make 100% Cabernet Franc. The majority of this fruit is from Lake County. And if you're not familiar with Northern California, Lake County is just north of Napa Valley. And we got a little bit from Sonoma in Alexander Valley. And then just a splash from Napa. And we made about 1,000, I think it was 1,068 cases. So
but who's counting?
Small production.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, what you can count on with Lang and Reed is what I really love about the brand. And Reed's parents, John and Tracy, have just done this amazing job of making Lang & Reed Cabernet Franc, especially this label, the benchmark for domestic Cabernet Franc. And we're always so honored that when sommeliers are doing tastings and trying to educate their staff, this is the Cabernet Franc they go to, because every time it tastes like Cabernet Franc, it smells like Cabernet Franc, it finishes like Cabernet Franc. And really, that's what Lang & Reed is known for.
Yep.
So that's what we're drinking.
Yep. So what we've got here is we've got a bowl full of wood chips that we're going to put in our smoker in a little bit. We've got 2 pork chops that, essentially they're pork chops.
Wait, but store. Look at these. Or you can get your pig delivered to your local butcher and then butcher it yourself. Can you see how much fat is on this? Oh,
that's
so good.
That's gonna be the best part.
And then it still has the skin on.
You don't need either of those.
No,
but
of course not.
They're gonna be more delicious if you do.
I highly recommend it. And the great thing about this, oftentimes people hear pork and they're like, oh, it's gonna be dry, it's gonna be boring.
Remarkably not dry.
Oh, you gotta try this.
Remarkably not dry. So the process of brining, going back to what we were talking about earlier, is that thank you. It's gonna make the most moist meat you can do, be it pork or chicken or fish. The only downside is if you leave it too long, it could be over salted. But you know, in the world of in the scheme of things, that's
worth it.
It's worth it.
It's worth it.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this brine, the salt, sugar, the spices, and we're gonna heat it up on the stove, and we're gonna make sure it's all dissolved.
Yeah, just bring it to a little boil.
Yeah, bring it to a little boil.
Enough to
get all that
sugar and salt.
And then we're gonna put the pork chops in it for a couple hours. So brine's done. I'm gonna grab it and I'm gonna throw it on some ice so it cools down for the pork chops.
Yeah, easy enough. So if you are, well, you're obviously cooking long, so now would be the time when you are ready. I completely messed up what I was gonna say, so let's start that over.
Yeah.
We've just poured our brine into the ice cubes. We're cooling this down, making sure all the sugar and the salt get out of it. The pork chops, this is gonna cool down. The pork chops are gonna sit in this brine. Baby, you turn this. He loves to turn the sink on while this is happening.
See, I like to clean as I go. Megan doesn't like to as much. So what's gonna happen? These pork chops. So this is super duper important. If you over brine them, they'll be too salty. There's no going back. There's no wiping the salt off. There's no rinsing the pork chops off. But if you under brine them, they're gonna be not salty enough.
Right.
And you're gonna be super disappointed down the road. So what we recommend is, through trial and error, we eat this all the time. Throw it in the brine for 6 hours to 8 hours. Anything under 6, iffy.
Yeah.
Anything over 8, it might be too salty.
Probably too salty.
I can't guarantee anything. So
yeah, you can always add salt at the end.
You can always add salt at the end.
It's not worth it to oversalt really, really beautiful pork chops like this. So these going in.
And that's it.
And that's it.
Set your timer.
Yep.
6 to 8 hours.
Yeah.
Or earlier or later.
Right.
About it.
6 to 8 hours is fine. It is 6 to 8 hours later. And
baby.
Just like that.
What's happening?
So you've decided already you are in the mood for smoked pork chops. You're going to take this amount. That's probably like a cup and a half of wood chips. These are apple wood chips. You can, just at your local grocery store, I don't know where the bag went. Oh, they're over there. You can get any type of smoking apple chips or any type of wood. Whatever, it doesn't matter.
I got that on Amazon.com for like $3. Have you heard of Amazon? It's super cool.
Great.
If you're not shopping there, you should.
Don't like Amazon. You're going to want to soak these in water for about an hour or so before you head out to the smoker.
Drain the water off, throw them in the smoker.
Yep. So we're going to take you guys outside to our smoker. Because we, like a professional cooking show that we are, we already have pork chops in the smoker getting ready. It's pretty fancy. But before we do that, I'm going to turn the oven on broil because we're going to get them out of the smoker and we're going to broil the pork chops.
Yep.
All right?
I hope you're hungry.
We'll meet you outside of the smoker.
So the smoker. Megan bought me this back in the day.
Well, first off...
Really hot.
Remember we found one in a dumpster?
We did find one in a dumpster.
I think we were cleaning out our garage or something. Oh my gosh!
Oh, it's hot. Okay.
Okay, so rule number 1. Here, maybe I'll stand up here.
It's not a
Rule number 1, or
Excuse me.
piece of advice number 1 is to probably wear hot gloves. So we are. Oh my gosh! Stop it! Can you see this?
So, cold smoker, but it's kind of hot at the same time. I don't really know the technical term.
Down here, these are your smoked chips. Those wood chips that we soaked.
Yep.
We put them in here. You can see they're still smoking up.
These are not cooked, but they're super duper smoked and close. We did do a pork roast because
If you're doing one, you may as well do more.
We'll leave that for another time. But
Yeah.
So here's your chops, and we're gonna go back into the broiler and finish them off. So at this point,
And how long have they been in there, Reed?
maybe 3 or 4 hours.
Yeah.
I've done two trays of chips, one water soaked and one not. Honestly, it's kind of that about recipe where have fun with it. If you
Yeah.
like extra smoke, do it. If you don't,
Yeah.
don't worry about it.
I'd highly recommend extra smoke.
Mm-hmm.
One thing we didn't tell you to do before it went in the smoker is to rub some Napa Valley seasoning all over it. And we can talk about that when we go back inside because it's cold and late and we're going to go back in. But
We're going in.
we'll tell you all about it when we get back inside. So anyway, Big Chief, little smoker. And we got our beautiful pork chops.
They're not cooked.
Not
You still have
cooked.
to cook them, but they're smoked.
And the cool thing is, at this point, once they're cool, this is when they could go back into the freezer. So they're prepped and ready to go into the broiler, and it would be super fast, a couple minutes on each side, and then seriously, your dinner's ready. So this is your prep, so that then you can have an easy dinner.
Yep.
Awesome. So let's go back inside. We'll pop them in the broiler.
See you in a sec.
Oh, yeah. This is the part where I start getting really excited. It smells so good.
Tell me what to do, Megan.
Well, here's the piece we didn't tell you that is probably one of the most important, if not the most important step after brining. So when the pork chops have brined for the 6 to 8 hours, you want to take this beautiful spice rub. Forgive my thumb. It's called Napa Valley Rub, which, you know, it's kind of cliche, but I gotta tell you, it's the best spice rub that we've ever had.
It's a local spice company that makes this. It's proprietary. I don't know what it is. It's nothing special.
But I can tell you what's in it.
Oh, take it away, Megan.
Yeah, the company is called Whole Spice Napa Valley. If you live in Napa, they have a place in the Oxbow. You can also buy it at Whole Foods. I know Browns Valley Market has it. You can go to www.wholespice.com. Sun-dried tomatoes, rosemary, lemon peel, fennel. There's that fennel again. Black pepper, chili, garlic, and sea salt. I mean, can you smell it already? How can you go wrong?
If you don't have that, or you just don't want to, herbs de Provence.
Great second choice. Or first choice for somebody else.
It'll be great. So, what happens next is kind of important. So, the worst thing in the world, besides, pandemics and famines, is overcooked pork.
Dry pork.
So, we have 2 pork chops here. You can see them. One is super duper thick, one is not so thick. So, what we're going to do is we have the broiler hot, we have the pan in the oven hot, and we're going to take one pork chop and cook for 2.5 minutes on each side. The other one's going to be cooked for 3-ish minutes on each side, and we're going to call it. That's it. They've been smoked,
fresh pork,
brined.
Yeah.
They've been brined, smoked, and then they're about to go in a broiler at 550 degrees. Don't worry about trichinosis. You want a juicy, fatty, delicious pork chop, or you're going to be really disappointed.
You're going to thank us.
So I'm going to pull this hot pan out, and we're going to throw it in the oven.
It's going to be piping hot. So the rest of this meal, oh my gosh. I'll get out of the way before we talk about that.
Hot pan.
Ready for the sizzle? Nice.
The thin one. So we're going to throw these in the oven on a hot pan.
Yep.
Again, we're going to call it 3 minutes on each side, just to be even, for both the thin one and the thick one. And we're going to see what happens.
Yeah, pop them on in. So for the rest of this, whoa, that was really smoky.
It's hot.
For the rest of this meal, we are going to saute up some green beans, and we've got some homemade aioli. And that's honestly all we're doing. It's very simple. One of my favorite parts of this meal, aside from the pork chop, is all the grease and the fat that renders out of that pork chop. So you saw how much fat was on that thing. That grease is to die for. Mm-hmm. And so I like to take that grease and saute anything green that I have, be it green beans, broccoli. Oh, maybe we'll do broccoli instead.
Oh,
broccoli is really good. Yep. Romanesco, you could do Brussels sprouts, whatever, anything green. And then you're going to dip it in aioli and be really happy.
Yeah, you're going to feel very full.
Yeah.
Very unhealthy afterwards.
It's so good.
But it's going to be delicious.
And then for those of you who aren't familiar with aioli, it's really just a house-made mayonnaise. Mm-hmm. And it's egg yolks and
garlic.
A couple full eggs, garlic, lemon juice. We use avocado oil and olive oil. You could use canola oil, anything. So you could just Google homemade aioli, or maybe we'll publish a recipe.
It's garlicky mayonnaise. It's really easy.
But it's good to have in your fridge. You can use it for really anything. Let's go get everything else ready for the meal, because we're going to be eating real soon.
The timer's going to go off quick.
Yeah.
Cheers.
This is my favorite part of Sip and Savor, is eating it. So I wish you guys were here with us to really enjoy this. You have to make this. All I smell is this delicious, smoky, charbroiled, beautiful, beautiful pork chop.
So the idea of pork is we've got crispy outside.
Yep.
Tons of fat on the inside.
Right here.
And
nice. It's like a meat sandwich. You got fat, meat, fat. And then there's a little, like chicharron on the outside.
A little crispy skin.
A little pork skin. And the cool thing about Lang & Reed Cabernet Franc, anything that has this kind of char on it like that is just going to be phenomenal. I'm ready.
It's so good.
Every time.
Every time. So, make this pork chop recipe.
Wait, how is it with the wine?
I'm sure it's great. The pork chop's so good. If you follow this rough guideline, you'll make the best pork chops of your life. I promise you. I can't promise you much in life.
But I don't know much.
But I can promise you, your pork chop will taste better if you do this.
Than any other pork chop ever. You won't put it on the grill anymore. Yeah. You won't overcook it anymore. This is it. The way to do pork chops.
My wife likes it.
Oh yeah, we gotta dip it in aioli too.
I wasn't even hungry. No, I am.
Oh yeah, it does. It just makes your mouth water. And then with the Cab Franc, it just balances it perfectly because of all this fat. It's kind of fat dripping off.
That's so good.
All the fat dripping off, you need the acidity, and Cabernet Franc has this great balanced acidity that just cuts right through, and you want to go back again and again and again, like this.
Is that what you want? So,
pork chop.
Thank you. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your effort in our Sip and Savor. Mm-hmm. Number 12. We're here. We're slinging great wine. This pork chop recipe. Don't tell anybody about it. This is
Skupny secret.
Again, episode 12.
The OG. The original recipe.
This is a recipe that we have. Share it with your family.
Yeah.
Don't tell any friends.
Yeah. So that kind of wraps it up. Reed and I have a massive 2-inch pork chop over there, which is waiting for us to dive into. A couple thank yous and announcements. Thank you, as always, to Reed's parents, my in-laws, the grandparents of our children, John and Tracy Skupny, for starting Lang & Reed Napa Valley all those years ago and continuing to make amazing wines and let us do fun programs like this. Thank you to Ben Tedesco, who is not with us tonight, but he is with us in spirit.
He's still alive.
Oh, yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah,
no,
he's still alive. He's totally healthy.
Yeah.
He's just not here physically.
He's
with
not
us
here
tonight.
getting all the fun shots of our kids.
Yeah.
So
They're asleep
anyway,
anyway. We're kind of tired of him.
He is our amazing producer. You can check out all his amazing things that he does, www.bentedesco.com. And then last but not least, Lang & Reed, the tasting salon is open. There's been a lot of confusion about what is going on in Napa Valley. Indoor tastings are not allowed. Outdoor tastings, yeah, they are allowed. And we have a great little outdoor space. So please come. We can accept up to 4 guests at once. You have to make a reservation. All the reservation requests can be done online at www.langandreed.com. You go up top, experience, and then tasting salon. So you make a reservation request there. While you're on our website, you can go ahead and go to Sip and Savor, and you can binge watch all 12 episodes of Sip and Savor. You get these 2 mugs for a long time. One option.
If you're really bored.
You can also download all the recipes.
Yep.
All that good stuff.
This recipe will, again, it's a gray area.
It's
kind of
just download
ballpark
it.
it.
It's perfect.
Yeah,
You
Megan will nail it.
You can't get it wrong. And then last but not least is our wine shop. So you can order wine. We've got our North Coast Cab Franc. We've got our 214 Cabernet Franc. We got Chenin Blanc from Mendocino and Chenin Blanc from Napa Valley. We also make these Sip and Savor gift packs, which have a little discount. You can do Franc heavy or Blanc heavy. We got all sorts of stuff.
Franc versus Blanc.
Right?
I like that.
Clever girl.
What did you think of that?
Yeah, I did think of that. Thank you very much. And if you live in Napa County, anywhere in Napa County, possibly even Sonoma, Reed or myself or John and Tracy will deliver your wine to your doorstep safely and effectively, and make sure that you are drinking wine before you can count to 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, so again, cheers, you guys. Thank you
Cheers.
for being so supportive, for enduring our chaos, and you guys stay safe out there, stay sane, and keep
Enjoy your pork chops.
making awesome pork chops.
Cheers. Thank you for the time.